If you want to find the opposite of any polynomial, you need to know the secret. This is it. Multiply by -1. -17 is probably obvious. You already know that the opposite of -17 is 17. I'm going to write the answer way over here for just a minute. Well, the mathematical way to find that is to take -1 and multiply it by -17. If you multiply those two things together, you get +17. Okay, so let's try that here. Multiply this by -1. Well, you do -1 times the 9, so that's -9 times x. So now when we get to complicated things like this, just follow the same rule. If you want the opposite, multiply it by -1. And anytime you need to multiply a polynomial by something out in front of the parentheses, that's distribution. So you're going to multiply -1 times every term. So the opposite of that polynomial is +3x squared minus 5x plus 9. Now, if that's confusing because you're wondering the difference between subtraction and addition, another way to look at this is to change the subtract 9 to add -9. So now when you multiply by -1, you're multiplying the coefficients by -1 every time. All right? And -1 times anything switches it to its opposite. So -1 times that -3 changes it to +3. And x squared just comes along for the ride. -1 times that +5 is going to be plus -5x. And -1 times that -9 is +9. You can either leave your answer like that, or you can simplify it by changing that add -5 to subtract 5. There you go. That is the opposite of the given polynomial. Now, if you look back at the polynomial, you can see that the only differences are that the signs of all the coefficients have changed. But you do have to understand that subtracting a positive number is the same as adding a negative number. Let's try one more. Here's a polynomial, x to the 4th minus 3x cubed minus 2x squared plus 17x minus 1. If I want the opposite of it, I need to multiply the whole thing by -1 and distribute that to every term. So all the coefficients are going to change. When I say coefficient, I'm also including the sign right in front of the coefficient. If that's a minus, I'm going to change it to plus. If it's a plus, I'm going to change it to minus. So here we go. That positive x to the 4th turns into negative x to the 4th. And then I change the minus to plus, and the next minus to plus. And the plus 17 turns to minus 17. And the minus 1 changes to plus 1. So the opposite of a polynomial is really the opposite of all the coefficients in the polynomial. But it is also when we multiply by -1. And this is going to be important when we get to the video about subtraction. So keep that in mind, and good luck with those.